Welcome again, ladies and gentlemen, to Joe Stunner Boxing. If you can hear something in the background, that's the washing machine, all right? So the house ain't falling down, not yet, but give it time. Just a quick one, because a lot of people, especially recently, have asked me, do I have any plans to do any, to go to any shows, do any interviews, get press credentials, all that stuff? The short answer is no. Although I'm very flattered that people think I could actually do that. I've got the ability to do that. I've never really thought about it. As I've said many times before, the purpose of this channel was just to sort of connect with other boxing fans. I've got just over 3,500 subscribers, which is, I don't know, probably about 3,000 more than I ever thought I would have. And probably if the channel got bigger, I mean, if I end up with 10 or 15,000, like G-Man or, what's Hatman got? About 80,000? Beats, I think it's got about 15,000. If it got big, or to the point where people were actually in the industry were actually paying attention, maybe I'd consider it. But that wasn't the purpose of the channel. But there's also another reason why I'm reluctant to do it. And I was on someone's hangout. It's either G-Man's or Beats' hangout, and this subject got raised about how if you do interviews, you go to shows, you get the press credentials. You've got to sort of walk on eggshells. You know, if you don't toe the party line, you can get blackballed. You don't get the gigs. And that's not me. I couldn't really do that. If I had something to say to someone, I'd be asking the questions that I wanted to ask, not the ones that I thought would get me, a return gig, or, I'm not Gareth A. Davies is what I'm saying. I'm not... I'm just not interested in licking anyone's arse, to be honest with you. And I would ask the questions that I felt other people wanted to hear as well. So whether it was Warren, Eddie Hearn, I'm not interested. I've said, rude things about a lot of people, a lot of promoters on this channel, and I would be, respectful if I met them in person, but I wouldn't back down on things I've said. So I've been very critical of Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn, and said I wouldn't trust them as far as I could sling them, which is true. And so if you go there and you start to sort of get ingratiated into that, little boxing media culture, it could water down your opinions, or you could become a little bit reluctant to be quite as... not scathing, but quite as impartial or objective as I feel I like to be and want to be. Take someone like Tyson Fury, for example. I think he has a tremendous talent, and I have praised him on occasion in the past. One of the first videos I did was a review of the third Wilder fight, and I was heaping praise on him. But if you behave in a way that I don't think is right, I will call you out. And can I be asked to sort of get into it with someone like Fury verbally? And I'm not. I've got a Twitter channel. I started one, but I've got no interest in Twitter or X, whatever the hell it's called. I got a bit of a Facebook page going, but that's not really boxing related. I print a load of crap on there, to be honest, just when I'm bored. So this little channel is kind of where it's at for me. But like I say, if it got more subscribers, if I hit the 10,000 mark or whatever, maybe I'll consider it. I'm also at the age where I just can't be asked, travelling around and, networking and all that stuff. I was never really into that when I was a kid. I used to be when I was a lot younger. When I was in my teens and my early 20s, I was big into music. I always have been big into music, writing songs and, all that sort of stuff, recording them. And, back in the day, before the internet, you'd have to sort of go hocking your demo tape around the record companies, and if someone was like, I don't like that, I'd be like, all right, fuck off. It was never any case of, oh no, you haven't listened to it properly. Oh no, go on, give it a listen. No, fuck that. Either you like it or you don't. Here it is. You want to listen to it or not? You don't want to listen to it, that's fine. So as a result, it was only when the internet took off that I started to make a few minor strides in that area. But I'm not really interested in being part of any industry, is what I'm saying. I'm not interested in being a cog in the machine. I think the beauty of running your own YouTube channel is that you say what you like, when you like. You don't apologise for it. You can be honest. And ultimately, You know, you meet like-minded people. I think if you're like that, if you're honest and you're open and you're transparent, you'll meet the right people. You might not meet a lot of people. A lot of people might not agree with you. That's fine. There was a very famous quote by a guy called Malcolm McLaren, who was the manager of, amongst others, the Sex Pistols, who were probably the original punk band, formed in late 1975. Became very famous in 1977 because they were on a show called The Bill Grundy Show, where they swore on national television, on tea time telly. This is the days when there was only the BBC and ITV, like 3 channels, BBC One, 2, and then ITV. No satellite, way, way off internet. And they became very, very notorious and infamous. And McLaren, who was their manager, said at the time, his famous quote was, "Better to be a spectacular failure than any kind of benign success," meaning do your thing, whatever that may be honest to yourself, and if you fail, it will be a spectacular failure rather than being just one of the successful mass. Do you know what I mean? Because we do look back in terms of, you know, certainly in terms of music, you look back and you think, that band were really great and they never really sold that many records, you know. Whereas other bands who at the time were the big thing, you think, well, that was cheesy, that was crap. You know, it is possible to be on the fringes of any kind of industry, never in the thick of it, but to still be the most interesting and influential of people. And I think the way you get there is if you're just yourself. And if this channel if it never hits 4,000 subscribers, that's fine by me. You know, get the right people in. That's my attitude. So, yeah, thanks anyway. Thanks for asking me anyway if I would go to any gigs, any shows. I'm not saying I wouldn't. I don't really go to the big shows anyway. Never have done in all my life. I like the small hall ones. I'd rather stay at home and watch the big ones on telly. And also there were times when I was younger where I just didn't have the money because the prices are astronomical, you know. But yeah. But also one other thing, if you do see me at a show, come and say hello. I'll have a chat with you. You know, a few people have said, "Did you ever go to shows?" I ain't seen you there, but I do go. Especially the York Hall is my absolute favourite, as it is with a lot of people. But anyway, thank you for listening. Subscribe to this channel if you're new, and hit the like button if you like the video. And if you've got any comments, leave them below. I thank you as always, ladies and gentlemen. Take care of yourselves, and bye for now.